Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. The two live streams just ended. Hilariously, the JP live stream took literally forever because not only were they talking about our game, they were talking about the new game, the console game, and the anime. So it took a hot minute, but we know what the next meta is, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And it is Holy Night themed. So we've got Hinata, Renard, and Glenda. Glenda being the free-to-play character that we got the teaser gear image for, so it makes some sense. I personally did not know that she used a knife until I saw that little cut in from the OP where she looks pretty funny because it's literally just like one frame. But Hinata, Hinata's VA was at the live stream. There was a reason for that. She is part of the new meta. So let's take a look at what we've got going on. So she is a light character. God forbid they ever drop not a light character. We are focusing on the commander meta though. So it's pretty easy to tell based on the old light Hinata. So now we have two light Hinatas, just one's EX. She's on Commander, Shizu's Will, and Stern of Spirit. Her first skill, 90 skill points. Very expensive skill. But Commander and Shizu's Will characters get a 120% alt damage buff, and she lowers all enemies' synergy resistance by 40%. So, I mean, that's a pretty hefty buff, which makes sense why it costs 90. Like, the most we've ever had is 100% on one skill, and, then some kind of personal thing. Now, it's two team-wide buffs at pretty high levels, 120 and 40% synergy resistance down. Light Blanc is doing 50%, so it's not that far off. So 90 skill points, okay, yeah, fine. Second skill, changes 2 greens and 1 orange into blues. So it's Warrior's Mind Guy's orb change. But she's bringing something new to the table. Applies multi-hit state to blue orbs, adding 2 attacks of a fixed percentage damage based on the soul orb, whatever you want to call it. Now, initially reading this, I thought that she was doing like the Exalted Champion Masked Hero, where all blue orbs are going to be AoEs. Not exactly the case. So if we pull up the JP stream, oh, spoiler alert, we can see how this skill is going to run. What turn is it? No, we gotta go back a little bit. Okay. So here is... Go back. Right? Yeah. Okay, so we're converting. Hinata is doing her conversion right here, and now the orbs are glowing, and we'll send them. And now, boom, you can see that there are 3 hits on Benimaru right there. And it'll be very apparent when I pause it here. So we have the initial 14,800 damage hit, and then there are 2 more, looks to be about 20% damages done to Benimaru. So every blue orb is going to be essentially 3 hits on 1 enemy, which is interesting. It's a new gimmick. It just means that your normal orbs will do, more damage. And of course, this will scale up. So when you have higher attack or weakness strike or orb damage, as this number goes up, these smaller numbers will also go up. I don't know how relevant it is in other content outside of this beatdown battle, because we'll see very quickly that Benimaru applies a 12-hit shield to himself. And every little, every other double hit, triple hit counts for 3 stacks. So if you don't have Hinata, you're going to have to waste 2 turns to get this shield down if you're sending full orbs. But the multi-target hit will take these down at 3 apiece. So we'll see that in practice again. So it's at 12. We're going to send these orbs. So 12, 9, 6, 3... and then it's broken. And then once it breaks, he puts some debuffs on him. So there we go. That's how that's kind of working out right there. Yeah, it's gimmicky. I don't know how good it'll be in other content that's, like Jubilee focused. I'm sure in Valor Cup it'll be kind of funny. but you know, the AoE skill from the hero is, I think, much better. I think for a lot of the early game content, this is going to be brutal to all those single target bosses. Moving on, her ult is a single target light physical attack for 510, which is pretty standard across the board. So that's we got a blue stacking blue meta. Let's move on. We'll watch the animations in full later. The Protector Renard. All right. Increases damage done by commander allies to light enemies by 60%. So he's giving extra damage against light. Hinata is light, which means that Hinata is not the DPS character. She is a pure support, buffing, debuffing, orb changing, giving that multi-hit to blue orbs in general. Hinata is a support character who happens to be single target. So we are waiting for an actual dark ally to come in here with type advantage to really do big time whatever. He's giving physical characters attack and defense 25%. Just like every other stacking protector, he's giving you 50 SP from turn 2 onwards. So you start with 100, you go to 150, 2, 253 every single turn. His actual stacking skill decreases all targets' ult resistance down until the end of battle by 10%, unlimited, and also stacks all allies' weakness strike by 12%. So he is doing a double effect stack. 10% debuff for ult resistance, 12% weakness strike for everybody on your team. And then he's giving blue orbs 100% up to 500% skill point gain, just like every other blue stacking protector does. But ult resistance down, I mean, is a very powerful debuff. You know, you put a lot of that on and you do a lot of damage. The weakness strike, while not the most powerful buff in the world, does mean that every time you use Renard, your normal orb damage will go up, which means that your multi-hit attack damage will also go up, you know, more and more and more and more. So, and he's very generic, right? Everybody benefits off ult resistance down because, you know, whoever it is you're nuking with, you know, ult resistance matters. And then weakness strike, I mean, even if you're not using Renard with this team and you want him as a generic blue stacking protector, you're going to have some sort of type advantage nuker, which means that extra weakness strike will help that type advantage nuker. So he is probably the best generic blue stacking protector that has zero limitations, which is great for all players. So I'm very, very pleased with this Renard's kit. You know, Commander isn't the biggest category. You know, he's physical and everything are getting the stats, but everything else about this kit screams generic viability across the game. So I think he'll be a very, very strong pickup for most players. He kind of reminds me of the generic viability of Konosuba Rimuru. You know, when he came out, he's just giving ult damage across the board, which everybody can benefit from. So, and he's not the greatest thing in the world nowadays because he's a year old, and he also, you can never get him again. But he was pretty powerful when he came out, and this Renard reminds me of that. Free to play, Glenda is actually pretty interesting. So her first skill, she is space. She's on Commander Schemer, and then the flashback beatdown force that all the free to play characters get. Look at these thighs. Look at this personality. Man, I'm pleased with that. First skill, 55 points. Commander allies guaranteed synergy, and then physical resistance down for 20%. So, I mean, this is limited, right? It's one force giving synergy rate, but physical resistance down is generic if you're running a physical team. 55 points is pretty costly for a free-to-play character, sure. Second skill changes 2 ult orbs into blues. So we are upgrading Misery, essentially. Misery only had 1 ult swap on a blue stacking team. Glenda has 2 ult swap on a blue stacking team, and then also gives blues a 10% generic gauge increase. This is a pretty good kit. It's a pretty good kit. Ult swapping for 2, you know, physical resistance down, commander allies get synergy rate. You know, let's take a look at the commander force to begin with. It's not the largest force in the world, but it does have a few picks. So the only thing is that there's no physical dark, right? We've got Ainz, we've got Lumi, we've got Rimuru. They're all dark magic. There are no dark physical characters here. Something that does stand out is Diablo, because he gives commander allies that massive 100% physical attack, but he also gives you Pierce, and you do not want to Pierce this beatdown battle. So unfortunate that he's not quite as useful, because his convert would be great. His buff would be great. It's just that you're going to nerf yourself by giving yourself Pierce, which is not great. Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, though, very good addition. Tempest Fleet Benimaru, also a good addition to this team. Both of them have orb changes. Both of them have physical attack buffs. So that's going to work out very well. And then Glenda, moving back to Glenda, she has an AoE space physical attack that lowers guard power. Sure, okay. Free-to-play protector is Xion, which is kind of, like, it fits because she's a commander, right? But it also doesn't fit because we got a whole bunch of Holy Knights, and then we have Xion. I'm not really sure on this one, but at least her kit is pretty good. She's stacking Weakness Strike by 10% for everybody. Generic, good. Skill cost up by 20 every single time, also good. And then Blue Orb skill point increase 30 to 300%. She's a very good free-to-play generic blue stacking character. Or protector. I mean, that's good. That's very, very good right there. No, she's not the greatest thing in the world, but she's free. And she can help any blue stacking team at this point. She does give extra damage against light enemies by the commander force, just like Renard does. And she's giving Tempest Elite and commander allies 12% attack. So overall, I mean, I'm not displeased with these kits. I think the most wonky one is going to be Hinata's multi-hit state. But I think for most players that are going to start out with this meta or need a blue stacking, like, this will work against all of the early game content. So I mean, that's good. But let's take a look at the alt animations. I'll flip over to the JP stream and we'll take a look at those.
どうかお願いします。
神へ祈りを捧げ立てます我は望み精霊の道からを欲する我が願い引き届けたまえメルトスラッシュこの先の道を信じて
他がために捧げし剣か我々の正義に祝福あれグロリアス・ホーリーナイト神のご加護に
少し遊んであげようかねそら荒海が来るよ備えなアービュラントスティングとっておきを出すまでもないさね
Okay. I mean, the animations look fine. They don't really blow me away. And, you know, we do have Hinata Inner Spirit armor now, so that's cool. But, yeah, definitely not, like, anniversary level animations, certainly. But we're outside of the anniversary now. Moving on to the next stuff. So here are the 4 new units that are coming. So on the plus side, we have 2 characters that are being newly added to the game, which means free Bond XP crystals, which everyone loves. So once these 2 drop tomorrow night being the keyword for me, so they come out on the 28th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, or whatever time zone that translates to wherever you live. But we have 2 new characters that you can feed for free crystals, so that's awesome. Moving on, they're adding the Commander Force to OG Fire Shizu and Summer Shizu, which, I mean, this one's a little weird. This one, she does have the alt swap and weakness strike, which it's a temporary buff, so it will stack with the permanent weakness strike that Renard is doing. So, and she's also physical, so she's not really a bad person to put on the team if you lack other options, right? She does bring value from both of her skills to the commander force, so that's good. We've got Gazel and Water Rimuru Harmonizer, the one that we got for free this month, is getting skill fusions. We'll talk about them, I think, in a separate video. And then here, we do have a manual update already available in-game for this right here. Quest can now be cleared while parallel processing, I think. But if you go to your Google Play or App Store, you can manually update the game. I've already done so. I don't notice too much different stuff right now. And I haven't tried to parallel process. I guess we can try it out now. So, let's go into here. Let's just parallel this for now. I guess it'll just be good proof right here if we can actually do it. So parallel process, and let's go try and take on like Beatdown battle or something. Oh yeah, hold on. Well, let's do this. Move out. Insufficient stamina. Okay, yeah. Okay, so normally it would say you cannot do it because you're parallel processing something. Move out. Okay, yeah, that update is live. So you can parallel process one normal stage while taking on a different normal stage. That update is live if you do the update manually by going into your store. If you don't do that and you just let it go, this forced update will happen probably later today for you if you don't want to go into your store and update it for whatever reason. But it is active. All right. We're getting free Koban as a login bonus when the next meta comes out tomorrow, and then on the 2nd or 3rd, depending, we're going to get a free construction slot. Just one, but one free. And they are adding Awakened Clayman and Tear into the ticket recruits in the future. The JP stream has this at the end of June. So at the end of this current, incoming commander meta, so for the next meta afterwards, they are going to add in Tear and Clayman. Now, neither stream says if they're going to be 4 stars or EX characters, but adding them to the ticket recruit is exactly what they did for Yom and Murin when they came out. They're only available in the ticket recruits, and they are EX characters. And I highly doubt they're going to add these as 4-star characters and give them little to no value. So I personally expect these guys to be, kind of mid EX characters, but EX characters nonetheless. And again, Tear is going to be another new character that will be free Bond XP crystals in another month. So, adding more characters diversifies the game. Good. At least she's getting representation now. I assume that, Footman and Laplace will be here sooner rather than later. Awakened Clayman, we've had his model in game for a while now. We have one Clayman playable, and he's terrible. Hopefully this Clayman's a little bit better. It's not very hard to be better than Earth Clayman, but now let's move over to the JP stream and what it's got. So we're getting a part 2 login bonus for season 3. So we're getting more 220 multis, right? And we're getting new medals. So this will be different from the current tickets that we're getting and the current medal bazaar, because as you can see, these stars are red and the current ones are yellow. So it's going to be a separate shop, and this makes sense because this says part 1. This will be part 2, number right there. So different shop, different banner. Looking at this banner, it's going to have Vengeance and it's going to have New Year's Blessing on it. And this is the free ticket banner, right? It's going to be the equivalent of the one that's active right now, this right here, that has, Wielder of Magic and World of Fantasy and Warrior's Mind. This banner is objectively much better, much higher value, because you can pull Vengeance, you can pull New Year's Blessing, Shion, and Rimuru from these free tickets that we're going to be getting. That's really good. That is such a good thing. And you're getting 20 multis for free just by logging in. And there'll be other missions and bingo boards and other things that are going to give you more tickets as we've been getting more tickets for this banner, right? I've got 115 just chilling right now. So this is very good. This is going to help a lot of players if you can pull, Shion and Rimuru and the Vengeance characters. Very, very good upgrade to that banner. We're also been getting our next free Rimuru is Groom Rimuru. He's okay, but we will get him on the 31st or the 30th, so a little bit after the meta starts. Not a big deal, but he is the next free unit, so I will do a showcase for him later on. This is about the parallel processing that is now active, where you can do it. Going back, this is the part 2 of the Metal Bazaar. Unfortunately, this shop is objectively worse. So the banner ran, or this crawled, so the banner could run, apparently. So the Season 3 banner part 2 is much better, but the shop is worse, because this one has 3 characters, the Recruit, a guaranteed EX ticket, gear, and then all this shit. This has Dark Veldora, Dark Xion, and Light Shuna as the units. There's still the Part 2 free multi that are discounted. This 200 coin one is a 10% EX protector ticket. Not a guaranteed protector. It's a 10% EX protector ticket for 200, which is just not great. And then all this stuff, these are memory stones. They're not EX memory stones. So that's really unfortunate. I mean, they might be. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, it's the same price as the EX ticket that's in here, or EX stone in here now. So maybe they are. Maybe it just didn't translate very well on my screen. But there's no gear. It's just, I think, magic cores. And then a whole bunch of other stuff that are easily grindable. So the shop, not really that good. The banner is good, though, thank God. Free Koban when you log in when the meta starts, up to 35 free Koban. So that's like 7 multis or something like that. Cool. I mean, free is free, right? And that's 7 multis on the new Hinata banner, or the new Part 2 or 3 banner, whatever's coming out after them in a couple weeks. So, hey, it's free shit. That's good. There's going to be limited time Chamber of Memories stages that you can get more EX shards from. This starts on the 3rd or 2nd, depending, and goes all the way until the 15th/16th of July. So I don't know what stages they're going to be, right? They just added a bunch of them last meta to the Chamber of Memories. So I don't know why they're going to be temporary. Like, why not just make them permanent? Right? I don't know. I haven't even done these 4 yet. But the fact that we're going to get more free stuff is, well, free, quote unquote, right? You have to be able to beat these stages and unlock them first. So that's something. Here is Tear and Clayman. Up here it says end of June is scheduled release up in this little blue corner right here. The English Dev Diary didn't have that. So, again, just confirmation that they are coming. Moving on. So there's the animations. Here's the beatdown battle that we kind of already saw. Commander Force added to the Shizus. We've got Harmonizer Rimuru and Gazzle Skill Fusion. After their update goes live, the 5-star drop rate is being bumped up permanently to 5%. So it'll be slightly easier to pull 5 stars, quote unquote. Right? But raid up is a lie, as we know. We're getting a raid, though. We are getting an actual raid versus Spirit Armor Hinata. And that's going live at the same time. So we've got damage milestones, 1 billion up to 4 billion. No. Yeah, billion damage. Damage. So guaranteed 5-star ticket. Okay, sure, fine. Some free food. Part 1 medals, which I kind of find interesting that it's releasing with the Part 2 stuff, but it's not Part 2 medals. Sure, okay, whatever, fine. But we get a raid. So again, this is free stuff, right? So as soon as we hit this, and we probably will, there will probably be at least 2 more reward steps after this, because we always hit the first mark pretty quickly, and they add EX steps to the rewards. Maybe that will have some more interesting things. So this will not be the final reward list for this raid, guaranteed. There will be more after this, probably for hitting like 8 billion damage or something. We've got some packs that are on sale. Okay. One more thing that is actually not great that's coming in is this right here. So this is a paid currency only banner that you can do a multi for one time. It's a guaranteed EX character with a 4% chance to be the new Hinata, but it's only paid magic crystals. And you can see up here in this corner, it's made a distinction between free currency and paid currency. Now, this is something that I do not like in other gacha games, making separate banners for paid currency versus free, because in my mind, currency is currency, and this game already does not give you a lot of it, and now you're adding a new limitation to where you can summon for using an already limited resource. So this is unfortunate for most players, because most players are free to play, and you will not be able to summon for this on this guaranteed EX banner. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. Just make it 72 hours free, do a summon. If you want to spend crystals on it, sure. If you don't, then you don't. But don't make it free, and please don't do this more often. Like, stop. I pray to God. And if they put a user survey out soon, I'm gonna, number one is be like, don't make the distinction. Don't separate it out. Just let everyone have a free chance. No one has crystals right now anyway, because they're summoning for the Exalted Champion 2.5 anniversary meta, right? The game does not give a lot out to restock to be able to pull Hinata and the 3 other characters. Just make this available to everybody. I'd be happy. Other than that, I think we've covered everything that has to offer. We've got, Jubilee scores and all that wonderful jazzy stazz. Beatdown battle is against Benimaru with the shield. He's got pierce and crit resistance. He's nerfing your magic attack, so it's going to be difficult to bring magic characters here. It is a stacking team, though. So you're meant to go to turn 8, and every time you break his shield, he does put on a debuff for his defense and his weakness strike resistance. So, yeah. It does make sense. Glenda, Hinata, Fount of Wisdom Rimuru is here. If you have Tempest Fleet Benimaru, objectively his buff is better than Fount of Wisdom Rimuru. They also bring Warrior's Mind Violet for some reason, who, is orb changing, yes, and alt resistance down, yeah. I'd rather just bring Overlord Shizu, but if you don't have her, you don't have her. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. That's the entire coverage of the May 2024 live stream with the incoming Commander meta with the Holy Knights. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you feel about this meta. Most people don't have crystals right now because they're still recovering from summoning for Velzard and Guy and all that. But, let me know your thoughts regardless. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all tomorrow night for the summons.